intro music deal playing? Oh, you do, yeah, right. No, because, yeah, you're not listening on this deal, but trust me. It's playing an intro deal with music and stuff that I made. And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chad Reynolds and that dude over there,
Mr. Loans. Hello. Welcome to SEMA 2013, an evening in the parking lot with Ryan and Chad.
This is going to be a special one, folks. We have some interesting stuff going on. In typical Bang Shift fashion, we said, hey, we need to be live. Hey, we need to invite our friends. Hey, where the hell are we going to do this? So we decided that we were going to do it in front of the Optima batteries. Big Rig, or one of the two, because as you see, there are cars behind us for the Optima Ultimate Streetcar Invitational and the new Ultimate Streetcar Association.
Yeah, we're talking about that. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's a big deal.
Yes, yeah. we have some big announcements. I guess the preview is some new developments on bangshift.com with regards to sponsors. Some new live drag racing you're going to see in 2014. I'm very excited about that. We're going to talk to a couple of car builders. We're going to talk to Bang Shift's own Dar Hawthorne as well. We have some special guests. We have some cool guys that are going to be here, and some guys who think they are quite cool, but we're not going
Jury's
to...
still out on some of these guys, let's be honest here. Yeah. Wait a second, he's son of a...
So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a good evening. As always, you guys can interact with us in the chat window, so let us know what's going on. Hello to Crazy Train and Verminator and Cookster and Neil and all of the gang. Please spread the word on Facebook that we are live. This one will probably be a long show because, well, quite frankly, we're here and we're having fun. So I guess the quick deal that we'll do is a little recap of what we've seen at SEMA. You guys saw our question of the day about the weird trend of every car having fender flares on it that are this wide.
Bolt-on fender flares, not molded-in fender flares.
Right.
Bolt-on, screw-on fender flares. No, not good.
Brian is actually contemplating putting a set on the Caprice.
No, I'm not.
His will be mounted with self-tapping sheet metal screws, of course.
Drywall, man. Drywall screws.
Because Brian's only ability to weld is with a stick welder. So, you know.
And a coat hangers.
Yes, absolutely. The show, though, has been really good. It was unbelievably packed. Unbelievably packed yesterday and today.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this really like from 2 hours into the first day. This is the most busy show I think it's been in years. A lot of the vendors we've been talking to, everyone's saying that they're good traffic in their booth, meaning that they get a lot of business coming out of the deal. And that's what the ultimate goal of SEMA, outside of us hanging out here with all this cool stuff, is for the aftermarket to do business, for these companies to get their distributors lined up to introduce new products, and that has been happening in spades way more than it has in the last few years.
Yeah, and that's a really good sign, because as we all know, we've come out of one of the crappiest economies ever, and the truck market took a big hit, the performance car market, a lot of companies have had to get smart and get lean, and it's clear that the automotive aftermarket, as much as we kid about all of us being a bunch of crazy idiots, it's clear that they're pretty smart, because the companies you expect to still be around are, and we've kind of culled out some of the crap out of the industry, honestly, and it's made it even better than ever before, and it's exciting. There are new things at every level, literally from little tiny parts we saw at Classic Industries this morning on
to the biggest honkinest lift pump that Aramoto's building, a diesel truck lift pump now, which is just 15 pounds of love I had in my hands today in their booth. The thing's awesome.
Oh, yeah, and it was almost too much love for Brian, honestly.
The police thought so. The security and the police did think it was a little bit not good. So.
We have had a couple of run-ins with security here at the SEMA show, actually. Yesterday morning was an entertaining one. And then yesterday, we were harassed by an Elvis impersonator security guard.
Yes.
And it was pretty entertaining, because when Tommy Lee, from Motley Crue, Tommy Lee, is walking outside the door where the security guard is hassling us and laughs and sides with the security guard, clearly we're doing something right.
We're doing something right, yeah. So it's been a really spectacular week, and we got big news tonight. Who we want to, one of this rogues gallery, who we want to bring in first?
I think we're going to bring in none other than Mr. Mike Copeland from Lingenfelter Performance Engineering. He's going to help us with a couple of really cool announcements. So the side of the camera you can't see, which is the over here department where the peanut gallery is at, we're going to invite Mike up. Come on down. Actually, can we grab one of those chairs? We'll throw it in the middle. We can shove Brian right out of the frame over there. It'll be fine. You'll notice the RideTech 33 Ford in the background over here. Mike, I know we got a lot of cool things to talk about, but I think the most exciting thing is that this time we're not sitting in a parking lot with a light from a street lamp and some dude's headlights lighting us up for our show, right?
And a rental car running out there to give us power.
Yes, absolutely. They're called generators, my friend.
Yeah. It's a mobile bank generator.
Yeah, that works. We usually call them disposable.
Yes, exactly. Oh, yeah, wait, that makes me want to say the one good story. So Copeland and I, a couple years ago, this will be quick, we were going to Bonneville. We actually met up at the airport in Salt Lake City. We walk up to the rental car counter. Mike's got a reservation. The young lady says, what's the name? He tells her. She says, do you need to add a driver? Copeland says, yeah, we'll add Chad. So she says, can I interest you in any of the insurance packages? We have these ones. And Copeland says, give me the big deal, package. And she says, okay. And she starts to go into some deal about the deductible. And he says, can we pay that up front? It was awesome. She didn't get it, but the other guy behind the counter did. It was touch and go for a minute. And then
you were rolling the floor. It was
awesome. And then remember, we almost had to use it to leave the airport because we couldn't figure out how to get out without running over a curb.
Yeah, that's just a bump in the road.
It is. Well, we have a couple of things that you're involved in that have happened today specifically. And one of those is a very interesting award that you guys have won here at SEMA 2013. So tell everybody about it.
Yeah, I got a call late last night. We have a lot of new products, and one of our new products won the General Motors Chevrolet Hot Rod Part of the Show award. So it's a new piece that we build and sell, and we're pretty honored to win that. So
it's a big award, and the product is really neat. It's an interface, if you will, that allows you to, when doing an LS swap and using a GM computer and everything, to not have to go for a bunch of added sensors on your engine in order to run instruments like your fancy autometer gauges like we love here. All of those can read off of this unit because it ties into the CAN bus or whatever that's in
there. Yeah, it's a converter. It reads the CAN bus and takes the data that the CAN bus transmits, which, in case you don't know, is literally every engine function. So it gives you oil pressure, water temp, speedo, tack, boost, everything, oil temperature, all of that's on the CAN bus. So this box you plug in, hook one wire up, and it outputs analog signals, so you can hook any autometer gauge up to it and make it work. So there's no longer chasing around, where do I find a tack output?
Right.
I have to drill a hole in the cylinder head for a coolant sensor. None of that. It uses all the factory sensors, and we calibrate it, and it outputs, and there it is.
When does somebody introduce the LS swap deal where the engine actually installs itself in the car? Because, I mean, this is it's incredible now. I mean, not only just everybody's got the headers and we've got all the different pieces, and now the ability to not have to drill the motor, install all this stuff. Literally, you're plugging in one wire, you're getting all your analog stuff. It's the fact that any other engine exists anymore is weird. As the two-valve Ford guy is over there shaking his fist in the air.
Yes. That's right. He'll get over it.
The best part is that whether you see what we've done with LT.
Oh, I've seen, my friend, and I am incredibly jealous. Oh, but wait. I understand that there's some outtake video that we may be able to get here on bangshift.com from a recent commercial shoot where you happen to be, shall we say, partaking in the power of the new Stingray?
Well, we had a traction issue. The tire adhesion just wasn't good enough. So, yeah, we went out to, we needed to do a new commercial for Lingenfelter, If you don't know, there's a new television show called Corvette Nation on Velocity.
Yep.
And we've got a big part in that, and we're running commercials during the show. So we needed to film a new commercial, so we rented Grattan Raceway. And, so I rented it for a day, and the guy said, well, there's an ambulance fee. I said, we don't need ambulances. We're professionals. Said, you brought professional drivers? I said, yeah, I'm paying these guys to be here, so I guess they're pros.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he said, are you a professional? I said, at this? No, it was off. So anyway, we had the track, so I got to spend about 14 hours beating a C7 up on the track.
Nice.
So I got well in excess of 50 laps on Grattan, and one of the things that we wanted to recreate was in our history, John Lingenfelter had done a deal where he stood at the back of a Corvette while somebody did a smoker burnout, and he stood there with his hand on the quarter panel.
Yeah.
So we recreated that. You know?
Really?
Yeah, and Ken's not quite as aggressive as John was, you know, but
yeah.
He was very trusting because, you know, obviously a C7, dry asphalt, and so a stick shift car.
Yeah.
So I snapped the clutch, grabbed the brake enough to hold the thing in place, and I just laid it on the floor. I mean, it's like 6,500, just eating the tires off the wheel. Ken steps in, puts his hand on a quarter panel, like, I hope Mike's not going to kill me.
Yeah, he's thinking, wait, I'm here on the pecking order, and Mike's just barely below me if he knocks me off.
That's what I was thinking. No, but anyway, so, and I'm waiting for the camera crew, and you know, those guys, if you ever worked with them, they want to make sure they have plenty of film.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you'd have to time it, but I would say it's over a minute that I'd sit there just...
Wow.
And I didn't even realize it. I finished this burnout and parked the car, get out of the car, and I look, and one of the camera crew guys was driving a Honda, and he had unfortunately parked it behind where I did that.
Oh, no, so it was coated in rubber.
Coated in 2 strips of rubber and asphalt.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful.
But it's a cool, so we'll send you the outtake. And, but there's that, and then a camera crew that actually we had a C5, a twin-turbo C5, my ZR1, and then a C7, and we had a camera crew that wanted us to zoom by them, and they kept saying, can you go faster, can you go faster, and, you know, we figured you could just speed the film up, right?
Right.
And so they said, we would like you to go like 80 when you come by, and they're laying in the center of the track.
Right.
I said, all right, but don't move, dude. And he says, and we want you as close as possible. I took out his coffee cup.
No.
At 85 miles an hour. Is that close enough?
Oh, man.
But we had a riot. It was a lot of fun.
That's good.
You know, but anyway, we have the outtakes, and we'll be happy to share them with you.
That'd be awesome.
So.
Well, and there's even more big news, more involvement that you guys have in more fun, which is the Ultimate Streetcar Association, which is has been announced today. Presenting sponsor is going to be Optima Batteries. Another Bang Shift sponsor, Ride Tech, is going to be the autocross sponsor for a full 10-race series with more information coming soon, or you can check it out at ultimatestreetcarassociation.com or on Facebook, Ultimate Streetcar Association, like them. But Lingenfelter Performance Engineering is going to be a major sponsor in that series as well.
We are. Yeah, we worked with the group. We're really happy with our relationship with Optima. You know, we've been with them the last couple of years, and this whole thing is growing. We want to be a part of it. You know, all you have to do is look around and see all the Lingenfelter motors and Lingenfelter parts. And so we've stepped up. We are the official sponsor of the Design and Engineering Challenge. So we've changed the scope of the award and what it is. It's a full 25% of the overall score.
Wow.
So and so we're going to go in and actually look at the way cars are designed and engineered, and how they're put together, what the thought process is, and it'll be a lot more in depth. So
that's very cool. Well, and those are all very big things, but I have to say they pale in comparison to our biggest and final announcement with regards to Lingenfelter, and that is Brian and I could not be more proud than to say that Lingenfelter Performance Engineering, as of this moment, is the newest sponsor on Bangshift.com. So thank you so much. We appreciate your support.
Well, you're welcome,
Absolutely.
guys. And you know, I mean, Bangshift is like family to me. You know?
I know.
And I appreciate you guys have helped us so much through the, you know, as we got to this point, we keep growing, and and all of the things. So you've done a lot to share, and you know, I know we do some cool stuff, so it's kind of hard.
Well,
not
that's
to,
the thing. It's not tough to share awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And you guys are like the awesome stuff factory. You bleed awesome stuff, and we're super honored to be involved, and the legacy your company has, and the reputation, and just obviously the innovation that's going on with winning awards and all the deals. So we're honored to have you, and thanks. And you're like our special guest. Like in the '80s, they'd be like, it's a special episode of a TV show. Mike is like our special guy.
I know.
He's our big gun. We bring him in everywhere we are.
Well, and in 2014, we will have some changes to PowerShift. We are actually going to move this up a notch. We're going to change some things. We're going to add even more. We've got new software we're going to use so that Mike can be a guest on at least once a month, as his schedule allows, regardless of where he's at. So going to be on remote, so that's going to be fun, because Copeland stories are always fun. Unfortunately, tonight, we can't hear a bunch of Copeland stories because we have all of these yahoos that want to talk.
Man's got to roll.
Yeah, well, and I've got a dinner too, but you know, it is what it is.
I'm telling
There'll be
you.
another time. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you guys got to check out all our photo galleries, because we have a bunch of cool Lingenfelter stuff, including that maroon Chevy pickup that is in the Magnuson booth, which I love, with the big grabber tires and all that stuff. And can you tell them, actually, that's one other little tidbit? Can we tell them that?
I can actually tell them what it is, and they'll have to wait till we actually debut the final truck. But we've... you know, I've been an off-roader forever, and
Yep.
you know, I live for that stuff, and you know, it just kills me to be a GM guy, and Ford has a Raptor that is so cool. So we've gone out, done a whole bunch of engineering, working with some of our partner companies. RideTech is in it with us, and Magnuson and Edelbrock are both in it with us, and but we are going to launch officially at the NADA show January 24th down in New Orleans. We're going to launch what's called the Reaper.
Oh, and badass. That was great.
Yeah. It's a GM. It's based on the Chevrolet Silverado, the 1500 series, but it's long travel suspension, supercharged engines, you know, big wheels and tires. We've been able to match or exceed the GM or the Ford Raptor numbers with suspension travel.
Nice.
We'll be doing a bunch of testing out here in the desert pretty soon, and so we're
and I'll be here because I'm way closer than you are. Ha ha ha!
Sons of bitches.
So, but that's we're really excited about that. We've partnered with a company called Southern Comfort. They build a line of trucks today. All of the trucks will be assembled right in beautiful Alabama. So
nice.
So, and we've got 100 dealer network all lined up to start selling them. So they'll be available starting the end of January, and we're really excited about it. So
that's awesome.
That's just one piece. I mean, we just have so much going on.
Oh, and this could go so long with Copeland on here, but
the man needs to eat.
I know. Okay,
he's going to chew in your arm in a second.
But I'm going to make it public. I'm going to make it public. Copeland said I can have an LTA Lingenfelter car to beat on like the ZL1 Camaro here pretty soon. So I'm looking forward to that. So you guys can expect cool video as well. Although I'll warn you, Brian will probably try and mooch a truck.
Yeah, you know, here's what I was thinking. You know, we'll let you drive the LTA and have some fun with it. But here at SEMA in the Continental Tire booth, I brought out our 203 mile an hour ZL1,
yeah,
which now sports 930 horsepower. It makes 835 on the tires. It's our newest 378 cubic inch engine package. So I'm thinking that we should take that car, so you'd have a ZL1 on steroids, and then we'll put Brian in one of our Raptor trucks.
See, now we're talking.
Our Raptor fighters. We'll put him in the Reaper, and then we'll get that done sometime, you know, in the spring. But we'll put Lingenfelter modified and turned up vehicles in both of your hands. And
if this was
that'll be awesome.
If the camera angle was closer, you would have just seen me wet my pants. But you were that far back, so yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Seriously, thank you, Mike. Thanks for coming and joining us.
Well, I won't sleep
Thank you for helping out.
Yeah,
exactly.
See everybody later.
All right,
thank
Mike.
you very much,
Thank you very
Mike.
much.
Oh,
yes.
That's so cool.
Thanks
900 and some odd horsepower. Loving it. The other thing, we have another big announcement. Our friend, well, we have friends actually coming in.
All of them, both of them are here.
They are. We got Blair and Mel are going to come in next. Come on down, boys. You guys may have to... Yeah, no, I don't know if we can all four fit or what. Here, you guys just stand back here. There you go. Here. We'll move this. You guys can stand as our guests.
Hey,
so
before we get started, David Cook sends his love.
Oh, very
Dave
good.
Cook's the man.
So Dave Cook's a big part of the announcement we're getting ready to make.
And great guys. And for those of you not in the know, we're going to do the introduction. So Mel Roth, the grand poobah, as I am fond of saying, of the PSCA and the Streetcar Super Nationals. Now, some of you know we're not going to be doing the Las Vegas Streetcar Super Nationals live here at bangshift.com this year. The track has decided to go in a different direction with the pay-per-view broadcast. And we'll see. We hopefully will be back for next year. Bo, but on the live broadcast front, one of you asked if we were going to be doing a live broadcast of the Move Out parade that happens here tomorrow afternoon, and the answer is yes and no. We are not producing it, but the guys at Con Media are, and it will be exclusively live here at bangshift.com, where you'll see every car roll out of the SEMA show, and that's going to be live tomorrow, so make sure you check Facebook for updates on that.
Every car and monster truck, because they'll be driving Bigfoot down the street here as it comes out of the convention center.
He's so jazzed about that.
Oh, no, I'm not, because I'll be on a plane. I'm missing the whole thing.
Oh, don't worry. I'll put a Facebook post up saying, ha ha. And then we also have Blair. And Blair, give everybody a little rundown on your background, because it's pretty extensive. And where how you've gone now. You know,
it's starting to show how old I am. And basically started out promoting dirt track races in Kentucky, then did monster trucks and supercross with Feld in Chicago. Was the NHRA division director for 4 years in Seattle. Was at Vegas for 11 years as VP of racing operations out there. Now I'm at Gateway Motorsports Park doing business development, promotions, and race operations, and just overseeing all the stuff that we're doing with the new owner, Curtis Francois, and we're moving forward, doing a lot of cool things.
You know, Gateway is one of the great comeback stories here the last few years. You know, Gateway obviously, you know, when Dover Motorsports had their kind of collapse, for lack of a better term, there were several tracks that went away at that point. Memphis and St. Louis were two of them.
Yep.
And it's so great to see that place opened up again. There's a ton of history that's happened there over the years, and obviously a good, very solid management team been put in place.
Yeah, we got a great owner, and that's one of the things. I was just talking to Dar a little while ago. And, you know, since 2008, after Bruton built the track at Charlotte, really nobleman is investing in racing facilities around the country. So far, Curtis Francois has dumped $11.5 million into Gateway with all the things that we're doing. Complete renovation of the drag strip. We've built a new kartplex. We've built conference centers. We've got a NASCAR truck race coming next year.
I was gonna say, you get the truck race, man. Yeah.
So we've got a lot of things going on, and it's amazing just to see what's happened in the 9 months that I've been there. It's just every day things are changing, and we're looking for showcase events, and that's one of the reasons we're teaming up with Mel, because we want to produce a showcase signature event that belongs to us, something we don't have to worry about a sanctioning body coming in and going away and things of that nature. And before we even make the announcement, Bang Shift is there. There's no pay-per-view.
Free.
You got my word on it. Read my lips. Bang Shift. We're partners on this deal, so we want you guys there. And we're not going to screw you over like some other racetracks have done recently. And I'm not naming any names.
Hey, I'll tell you what, and I gotta be real careful on what I say on this, and y'all know this, but I have to make sure one thing is pointed out. Mel Roth over here, PSCA, has always been incredibly good to us here at bangshift.com. We have appreciated his support. We have supported him in any way possible, and I want everybody online to know that Mel Roth is supporting bangshift.com. This was not a decision of his. With that said, we're not going to dwell on that.
Positive.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
We are now announcing a second Streetcar Super National, Anarchy at the Arch, Gateway, August 2014, live on bangshift.com with me, Chad Reynolds, as the announcer of that event. We are going to knock the outlaw drag racing world on its ass live at Gateway in 2014.
It will be left as a smoking pit in the earth by the time that thing's over. Yeah.
It is going to be badass. And Mel, tell us what brought... I know you guys have an awesome relationship, you have for a long time, but tell us, what made you want to go to the Midwest and show them what a West Coast guy could do in the Midwest?
Well, we've always had plans of going, spreading Streetcar Super Nationals around. And then when Chris came out of that Gateway, it's like, wow, this is an opportunity. And like everything else when me and Chris do, I give Chris the idea and he tells me I'm dumb or whatever. So that's what he does.
Well, that's what happened 9 years ago. He brought the idea of the Streetcar Super Nationals to me. Man, you're picking this thing. It's either going to be huge, it's going to be a complete flop. And he's like, believe in me. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay.
And he did.
I believed in him, and it turned into a monster.
Yeah.
So it's been great. And he's, like I said, he's one of the hardest working guys in drag racing, and he means what he says. He stands by his word, and that's one of the reasons we want to do business with people like Mel.
Well, and the Blair and Roth team has been pretty powerful.
That's a
you
scary combination.
It is. I got to tell you, because you aren't a pretty duo, but you are
That's for
pretty
sure.
functional.
There's a whole lot of ugly going on right here.
Oh, I know.
Give us a class rundown, Mel.
The classes aren't final.
Okay.
So we're going to run Outlaw Pro Mod, no rules. We're going to run a rules Pro Mod, Outlaw 10.5, 2 drag radio classes, and some index and bracket classes. So we'll have a place for everybody to run. And while it's quiet, real quick, we got my friends and family back there.
Oh, come on up.
And we'd like to show everybody that, it takes more than one person to do this. And these guys help work at the trailer, do the social media for us and everything. And without people like this, we can't.
Give him a round of applause.
Yay.
And one thing about it, somehow he gets them all to work for free. That's the mastery of Mel. They all work for free.
Mastery of Mel.
I learned it from him, my friend. I learned it from him.
They race for hoodies.
Yes.
We'll race for hoodies.
Yes. Well, thank you, all of you guys, because we know that it's a group effort to make all these things happen. And one of the things that you guys know, all of our live audience, that every single event, we are really thankful to the staff on the ground at the racetrack. Everybody from the safety safari to the starters to the guys in the water box, the dudes in the staging lanes who have the crappiest job ever at a drag strip, trying to corral a bunch of idiot drag racers like us.
Yeah.
But it just can't happen without all of those people. I mean, it just can't. And we're lucky. I stand up there for 1 million hours, don't get me wrong, doing the broadcast, but if all of those people weren't in place, we wouldn't have a drag race to even show you. So, again, thank you so much for including us. Thank you for including us for all these years, Chris. It really is a big deal to us. We want to support you. I know we have a lot more things that we'll be doing over the years, and there is more to come. We are currently working on our 2014 schedule. We are not only going to bring you a lot of drag racing as you expect, but we are working on doing more SoCal Challenge live broadcasts with the Pro Touring world. And Brian is losing his mind over this one, but I opened my mouth. This morning, and if we can get people to approve it, because we have not talked to anybody official, we may be going to the Great White North next year and doing something with some big rigs. So
yes, there could be debauchery with giant trucks.
It would be ugly. Brian will disappear. We'll never see him again.
Strong Canadian beer and big rigs. Yeah.
Awesome.
Expensive Canadian beer.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Very expensive.
But no, we're super excited, and over the course of the year, we're going to be hyping this race, and we'll be talking a lot about as the dates move, as the date gets closer. We talk about who's going to be there, what performances we can expect, and like Chris brought up. There's been some major league tumult this year in the Door Slammer drag racing world, and there was 2 organizations that neither of us are Nostradamus or Karnak, but we both sat here over the winter and said, there's 2 guys entering the ring, and there's going to be 2 dead bodies in the ring by the time it's all over, and that's kind of what it looks like. And, Mel's organization has been rock solid. He runs it very well, highly regarded. They run good races at good racetracks, and it's just, like Chad was saying, we're super excited to be involved, and it's just a really, really cool deal.
Well, and I want to point out one reason for that, too. And Mel and I have had these conversations very specifically. There's a lot of pissing contests that go on in the pits at races and between sanctioning bodies and all kinds of things, and it's all part of racing. But Mel goes out of his way to try and make sure that his events are scheduled in a way that allows the racers to go race at everybody's races, so that racers can get as much racing in as possible. And quite frankly, that can't be said for every sanctioning body at all. And yeah, you're running a business, but you can't run that business without good tracks and good racers.
And all the cast of thousands.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
case in point is why we wanted to get the date out now.
Yeah.
So if anyone else wants to put a date on that, they're going to be up against a monster, because we're going for this.
And one thing I want to point out, I brought his name up earlier. One of the first things that I did when Mel and I started talking, I called David Cook, because Cookie's starting a new company.
ProTrack, baby.
There's only one guy who can get these cars to hook up, and that's the man. I want the best track prep guy in the business there. Cookie is fantastic, so he is on board. He's our guy. So,
and for those of you
that question, he's
the man. And for those of you that may not know Cookie, he is the man behind the legendary traction at Tulsa Raceway Park for both throwdown events each year. He knows how to prep a track so that the drag radial cars started out with tons of bite and tons of hook, and work your way to the big tire cars where they can get the wheel speed they need. That he is a genius, and he's awesome. I mean, just to hang out with. What a neat guy.
And actually, a question for Chris, and you've been in this business long enough. Did you ever think there would be a day where a guy could actually start a business as a track prep professional?
Well, I tell you, that's one of the things that's so challenging, and how much the business has changed over the last few years. I remember when I was with NHRA doing the races up in the Northwest, we'd go to Mission Raceway, we'd go out and spray the track once, start running cars, a few hours later give it another little mist, and that was it. And no one ever complained about track prep. And then over the course of the last 3 or 4 years, with all the changes in traction compounds, the technology that's going into the tires, the suspension technology, we've gotten to the point where the cars are smarter than the track.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to get them all to hook up, and trying to make everybody happy at some of these events is impossible, because you think you know what you're trying to do, and you think you've got the right combination, and then the next guy comes up and blows the tires off, and it's just a constant battle.
Yeah, a guy like Cook treats these guys that are, and it is a very small group of guys that are as good, and maybe not as good as him, but they treat the drag strip like a living, breathing organism for the course of the weekend. And they monitor its health, and they touch it and rub it and do what they got to do. But these guys are unreal. So you're going to have awesome traction there, and it's going to be big time class competition. You got big purses. It's just going to be nuts.
Well, that's one of the things. Last week we had Cookie out at our track. We were working with Chris Dingman and the guys over at the Mickey Thompson Series there in the Midwest. And we had 3 days of solid rain. The water got under the rubber. The track went to hell. And Cookie got out there and worked all night. And the next day I'm thinking, we're not going to get anybody down this racetrack. I said, I'm glad I've got him here to take the bullet for me.
Right.
And people were out there setting personal bests. And it's just because he works at it. And I've got a new guy on my crew, Tony Spatola. He's my track manager there. He's working closely with David. They're becoming a team so that we can have consistent, good tracks all the time when we can't have Cookie. But we're trying to get Cookie. I've got him right now for about 6 weeks next year.
Nice.
And I'm hoping to have him there more, and this one's going to be the one where we're going to make him a superstar. We hope.
Oh, hey.
Well,
thanks, guys.
Again, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thank you, buddy.
We can't wait.
Nice.
All right.
We'll bring monster trucks too for you.
Nice.
See that? See what just happened there?
I did.
Big
Smile.
last week. We'll bring him over. He's local. So
Oh,
we'll get him in
me
there
and Bob
for you.
Chandler, we can go be friends.
There you go.
It'll be awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
Jim Kramer, is he still over there?
Yes, he is.
Oh,
I think
see?
he is.
He
My
doesn't
boyhood
want to be.
hero.
He doesn't want to be that kind of friend with you, Brian.
Plutonic. Totally plutonic.
Oh no, we got another. We got like a triplet coming up
Yeah.
next. Hold on, we got more racing stuff to talk about actually, real quick. Saturday is going to be the Optima Ultimate Streetcar Invitational in Pahrump, which is an hour and a half from here. I'm going to be there announcing again. Bud Brutzman and Greg Glass and the entire crew are going to be there shooting for the television show on that. It's going to be a riot. All of these cars you see out here around us, there's 8 bajillion of them, are going to be in the Invitational.
And not to interrupt you, but when we say cars, we mean the 69 Camaro next to us, the gazillion-dollar Mercedes Gullwing, I don't know what the hell model
which
it is.
Which is one of 2 of those in the race.
So the great thing about the Invitational is that it's pro touring cars, and then it's some of the greatest supercars in the world, all going head-to-head to see who's the superior being out there. And
it's going to be great. And one of the cars that's going, that you've been following along with here on Bangshift.com, is the Wally's World GTO. And Wally is part of the FM3 team that puts on the Optima Ultimate Streetcar Invitational, and he had Bruce and Mike and Pete beating up on his GTO and then rebuilding it to make it good, and they entered the car, and it has been chosen for the Invitational, and I believe Mike's driving it, right?
Oh, sure.
Come on in.
Come on down.
Who's driving it? Is it Mike or Bruce?
I'm driving.
No, you are? Okay, good. Come on, where is Mike anyway?
He shagged on us.
He ran off? Well, come on, Pete. You're in this deal.
Come on down.
We got a couple of the handymen who were involved in building this bad boy. And Bruce Raymond. And tell us a little bit about how there is so much that can be said here. I'm trying to figure out how we don't go on an 8 million minute tirade on both of your qualifications. Just let's do this. Pete, give an introduction. Tell everybody about Petters. Just quick, the synopsis of what you guys offer, and then how you became involved in the Wally's World GTO.
Well, before I do that,
when did I meet you for the first time? Do you remember? The test.
Wait, was it at Road America? Was it? No, we met before then.
Yeah. I had a nice driver out here. Optima number 2.
Oh, you had, oh crap. Hold on.
Canadian driver.
Yes, IndyCar, Paul Tracy. Yes.
Wow, okay.
Oh, dude, which I can't. Oh, I want to tell my Paul Tracy story. I can't tell my. I
Sure you
can.
don't.
I can. I'll tell it later. I have a great Paul Tracy story. Go ahead. So, anyway, yes, that was the second Optima Ultimate Streetcar Invitational.
And that was pretty much our introduction here in the United States. Petter's an Australian suspension company, and I brought it here to the United States. Over in Australia, they're pretty much a repair company. And we went a really different direction with the company here, and now we're at places they never dreamed of going. And of course, Wally, Mr. GTO, soft spot in his heart.
Yes.
And he's got his current GTO, and when he decided to get a little more serious about it, came and saw me. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
Now, and
Yeah.
then, I don't know, how many years have we known each other, Bruce?
I'd say 2, maybe 3.
3, yeah. We've been
And-
in trouble pretty much every damn time we've been together.
A little bit. We haven't broke Wally's car yet this time.
No,
We're gonna do that Saturday.
That's why Norris didn't show up.
Norris left
Yeah.
because he broke the goat.
Yes.
He did broke the goat.
Norris broke the goat.
Now, give everybody a rundown, though, on what you and Mike Norris are doing now together.
What we're doing, Mike Norris Motorsports and Raymond's Performance and merged together, and we've always been a suspension dealer for Petters, and that's how Pete and I know each other. That's how we got involved with the Wally's World GTO. And as we did our modifications, we looked around for the best tuner, and it was Mike Norris. So we pulled him into our shop now, so we're working together to do that, and it's been a win-win deal.
Rattle off, give them everybody the synopsis of what's been done to the car.
Well, we touched a little bit of everything. Wally kind of stopped us on a few things. We wanted to gut the car and throw the stereo out, but hey.
Oh, it's got like 150 pounds of stereo in it because it's awesome.
It is an awesome stereo. I'll give him the awesome stereo. So we did head and cam headers, did a Dyna clutch in it. Redid the rear end, obviously, after Bowling Green.
Yeah, G-force rear end
We stress
in it.
tested that. Did G-force rear end in it. Weld wheels, wood brakes. We're looking forward to it. I mean, it's 4,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Skinny 245 tires compared to these cars, but it handles pretty well, so we're going to give it a shot and see where it lands.
It is. It's a neat piece. I mean, like you said, center force with the diad clutch, and they got the Hurst shifter in it. Dude, stupid expensive Recaro seats. That are
They are
awesome.
heated, cooled seats, and they're wrapped around that Ride Tech cage, the Tiger cage.
Oh,
We did a custom cage on it. Ride Tech supplied the parts for us. That's awesome.
it is.
Yeah.
And Pete's got a lot of custom suspension in it, which includes the very first set of GTO caster camber plates.
Oh, nice.
Specifically designed and engineered for this car. Obviously, your coilover conversion, a whole lot of improvements in the rear suspension geometry and control areas. I mean, it's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff, and that was my real role when we got together for that first time.
Yeah.
Up on top of the Optima trailer.
Yes.
You remember Wally's eyes when we kept going through the list and saying, "Well, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this."
It wasn't a long list. We did do the suspension.
Who's
We were
saying
expecting
this?
it to turn.
Oh my God, it was hilarious because Wally was looking at this going, oh my God, I know all these companies will support me, but I'm going to have to pay for some of this. And oh my God, I don't have the credit card my wife doesn't know about anymore. I mean, he literally lost hair by rubbing his forehead back a lot.
He was a bit concerned about the price.
He was a bit.
It was an awesome project, and we love GTOs because when Hoban built them in Australia, they didn't do a very good job, and the freaking things just fall apart suspension-wise.
Makes it
They're
easier to change.
awful out of the box. They're a disaster.
Yeah.
So we literally
Corrected
changed
the issues.
everything in that thing.
Yes.
Everything.
I think.
The camber plates, it's so cool working with Bruce and his
We use the
shop.
body.
Yeah.
We had to figure out how to mount these things for the very first time. The strut mount at GTO is about that big, and it gives you no room to do anything. They wear out the minute you look at them. And for us to have any stability in that front end, we had to get a camber plate working. So I came up with the camber plate, and then Bruce and I and his lead tech, Eric Pitts, we had to figure out, all right, let's cut off the mountain there. We're going to put this here. It was just an awesome experience working with them. And the best part was we got Wally beating on his car with a hammer.
Oh, yeah.
We had him grinding on his
pretty
parts, drilling holes, and I mean, it was absolutely awesome. I thought he was going to die. I mean, it was
My car, what have you done?
When we got the diagram out the first time, it was a little touch and go there.
Trust me, it'll be okay. Don't worry about
I
it.
think we can fix it.
It'll be fine. You're doing it wrong,
Well,
Samir. Who knew?
One of the things we're going to talk about involving Petters was last year's Optima Challenge. What did you guys bring to that contest last year?
Well, we brought a couple of cars. We had Bruce Raymond's 2010 Camaro.
Yep.
And we also had the Lingenfelter L28.
Yep.
The Lingenfelter L28, excuse me for being prejudiced, but that car's badass.
Oh,
and
it is
should
badass.
do really well this year, even with the improved feel.
Makes
Yeah.
the hair on the back of your neck stand up, man.
It
that
does.
thing
Yeah,
that
sounds
thing's
like
mean.
the end of the world.
It is.
It sounds mean.
Piss
Yeah.
off.
Just like the driver.
Oh, yeah.
Lingenfelter has been phenomenal, keeping the car supported, and we got Danny Pop behind the wheel. We have suspension parts on that car that just don't exist anywhere else. Literally in that rear end, in the rear lower control arm, there's so much movement in the OE setup when you're driving it like we are.
Oh, yeah.
You know, driving it down the street is one thing. Doing what we're doing with this, it's unheard of. So we've actually got a solid steel bushing in the lower rear control arms.
There's a lot of pieces in there like that.
Oh, wait a minute. With steel jacketed thrust bearings back there.
Yeah,
Now,
that's not
we're
moving.
using thrust bearings in a lower control arm for stability. That arm can't go anywhere except up and down like that. Car is super dialed in. Danny's been awesome to work with. We've taken 2 years to really get the car sorted. A little bit of luck, stay together.
Oh,
We're going to be dangerous out there.
Nice.
I'll tell you what,
Can be fast.
you guys are good. I want to touch on a car that's not here. I want to touch on your car.
My car?
Yeah, on the white car.
Oh, my 89.
Yeah.
It's coming.
We've talked about two things here today. We talked about fender flares, and we also talked about small parts from Classic Industries. And today we talked with the guys at Classic Industries about a bunch of new parts that they are offering for third-gen Camaros. And Brian and I both said we're big fans of third-gen Camaros, the IROC Z, and all of those.
Going to high
It's cool.
school, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and,
the 88.
And
Yeah,
my
it's
dad
good.
worked for Chevrolet at the time and had one also as the demo car. And Norris's car does not, Bruce's car doesn't have bolt-on fender flares. His are giant flares,
They're the real deal.
and they're made out of steel, right?
Yeah, we English wheeled them out and made them.
And this car sits bitchin', looks bitchin', hauls ass. It's a neat piece. I mean, it really is. I love that car.
Well, thanks. We put a lot of time in that car, and right now we got it blown apart again. It's going back to body shop. And the Optimus streetcar deal, it's going to be good next year. Yeah, that thing's on a diet, and we're thinking 600 horse and 2,900 pounds. So
you know, you guys
we're looking good.
You guys have been involved in the kind of pro touring world since it became a pro touring world. And can you envision when that deal started? Like, I'm looking at the field of cars behind me at this event, and I mean, this is beyond, I think, what anybody could have predicted.
You can't believe the quality of the cars,
Right.
and the reliability on them. And a lot of these guys drive these cars
Yeah.
to the event, beat on them, drive them home.
Yeah.
Farrington's.
Dude.
Tom Farrington, Dad
Awesome
Farrington,
guy.
beautiful 66 Chevelle, beat that thing like they own it,
Dude.
drive it home.
Yeah.
I gotta say, one
and
car
win a bench fit.
Yeah.
I
It's a
am
great car.
incredibly impressed with. I mean, it's real easy to be impressed here, but one car I am super impressed with, and it is inside Randy Johnson's green Camaro.
That's sick.
Oh,
That car is
That
awesome.
thing is brutal. Yeah.
It is stunning. When you got, it's in our photo galleries, some snapshots of it, but we will get more of this car. It is truly amazing, and Randy, that guy's got a lot of talent. He
He's
really
got
has
logged
come
in.
into his own in the last, year or two.
Last couple of years, he's gotten really fast. He's going to be one of the guys to beat.
He
And
is.
He's going to beat that car bad.
Oh, and it's
It's a beautiful
brand
car.
new, gorgeous, perfect paint. I mean, gorgeous, showy car. and he's going to beat it like a rented mule.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it, you guys. Thanks for being
Guys,
involved
thanks
in the
for having
Wally's
us.
World GTO, which is a
That's
weirdo
awesome.
car, which we're going to use as our transition to our next guy, who Brian's going to introduce,
Yes.
because he's sort of a sicko like Brian. But again, Pete, thank you so much.
My pleasure
Brian,
as always.
thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks
Thanks for having us.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you
we'll see
guys.
Saturday.
Absolutely, we'll be there.
Right,
You guys
the rest
have a
of your
good one.
weekend. Thanks. Chris.
Without further ado, the king of the Crown Victoria. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes.
Okay.
Why don't you come in the middle, Chris?
Monkey in the middle, my friend. Monkey in the middle.
All right, so one of the great magazine feature cars, I think, of the last 10 years. You guys read Carcraft. Remember a Crown Vic called the Rocket Couch? Well, that is this man's car right here. ADTR.net is his website. Chris is...
Which stands for all you bastards with crazy big Crown Victorias that want to go fast.net.
I'm a bitch, is what that means. Chris is a guy who he was dropped on his head or spacked around at birth or something, but he's real into these Ford mod.
right?
Exactly. He's real into this Ford mod motor deal. And now we need to talk about the 2-valve engine that is in the Rocket Couch. So we're talking about a 2-valve modular engine in the Rocket Couch, and what is it recently making for power at the tire?
It made 633 and 545 torque.
Out of a 2-valve, folks. That is not...
It's a street-driven deal.
Yeah, and it's not done yet. We're going for over 700.
Over 700 at the wheel out of a 2-valve motor. And this
Now-
is... What's on it for forced induction?
It's a Paxton Novi 2000.
Cool.
Now, I have often asked myself, what in the hell is going on in that pea brain there that makes Brian Mr. Caprice Guy? Now, with the caveat that I actually owned one before he did. Mine is a 9C1 police car, just like Brian's. However, mine is wrapped in a much sexier, although slightly rustier, 1956 Chevy body. So, I ask myself these kinds of questions about Brian's demeanor and actions quite often. What's your excuse?
Yeah, what happened to you?
Best excuse, I guess, would be I wanted something different. Everybody has a Mustang or knows somebody with a Mustang. Don't get me wrong, I love Mustangs still, but it was my first car, and all my friends had a Mustang or a Cougar or something cool vintage. And my parents said, no, you're getting a Crown Victoria. But they gave it to me for free, so I really couldn't bitch, right?
Yeah, right.
So I'm like, okay, can I modify it? And they're like, yeah, sure. What are you going to do to a Crown Victoria?
Okay, kid, whatever. Yeah.
Well, it turns out the mod motor actually took off, so to speak. And, there's actually a lot of parts for it.
Yeah.
And I'm just viewing it as an obese Mustang. It's a big,
I like that.
a big Mustang.
It's an obese Mustang. It's a Mustang with a thyroid problem.
Oh, dude. If you could figure out how to shove all that thyroid problem on a license plate, it would be rad.
Well, you mentioned that you had the thing since high school. I mean, talk a little bit about the progression of the thing. Obviously, by senior year, it didn't have 600 horse at the tire. So
No.
how did this thing go along? And how many of these motors have you killed in the process?
Okay. Well, it started off as we were just going to do a mild build, and then my friend found a Novi 2000 blower, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And so my dad and I kind of started the project, and it went south just because we didn't have a very good shop to do it. And when we started it, the mod motor world was still kind of new.
Okay.
So they kind of experimented with a couple things and didn't know what they were doing, and ended up launching a motor on the dyno. So the original 92 block is not in there anymore. The 99 replacement motor is still good, but I ended up just all of the original stuff that was done, I wanted it all redone.
Yeah.
I just start fresh because there was too many things that I've had to fix. So it's now on its third motor. It's now a 5.3 stroker motor with trick flow heads.
Cool.
Everything thrown at it. So long stainless works long tube headers, and just the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you go
I was
ahead.
just going to say, over the years, the humiliation you have heaped on people with that thing has to be just... I mean, there must be innumerable, moments of just completely killing somebody's self-esteem with that car.
they don't see it coming, and that's what's cool. I mean, when it's on, like, it's loud. The Novi 2000 is a loud blower for sure.
It is, yeah.
But at car shows, unless I have the hood popped, they don't give me any attention whatsoever.
Right.
They just walk right by it. Then when you open the hood, they go, "What the? Holy crap!
What the what?"
Yeah. So.
Now, at what point did you decide, I kind of got this figured out, and apparently there's a bunch of other crazy bastards around that think these are great cars, and maybe I should start a business revolving around them?
There are a bunch of crazy bastards. Crazier than I am, actually. It started with, I was making a cold air intake for one of my past cars, a 98 Crown Vic, and people are like, "Oh, that's rad. Can you make me one?" And it just kind of went from there. And then we started porting upper intake plenums where the throttle body bolts to, and now we're making bolt-on supercharger kits with Vortex superchargers.
Cool.
We're making, we got long tube headers, like Stainless Works. It came to us and said, "Let's make long tube headers for these cars. Get everybody together and let's make it happen." So now there's long tube headers for all the different years Crown Vics. They got full catback systems, and it just has kind of gotten bigger and bigger and bigger.
And here's the coolest thing about it, right? So every company in this big, giant, million-square-foot exhibition hall behind us, virtually every single one of them was started by a guy. Let's take Edelbrock, for example. Started by a guy who had junk, and he said, "This junk needs to go just as much faster," right? And what you've been able to do is the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You've done the same thing, but in the age of the internet, like you said, with Stainless Works, let's get all these guys together. You're able to be inside a community like that, and it's cool. And so I love it, man. I love the car. It's cool we get to hang out here. We see each other once a year. We have our little SEMA.
Which is really sad.
Yeah, well, we have our weekend bromance, and then we go our separate ways. And
I say it's sad because it makes sense that you only see him once a year because you live 8 billion miles away on the wrong side of the country.
My home planet is a very long trip home.
But he and I don't live that far away.
No, yeah,
I mean,
we're
we're
pretty
like
close.
an hour and a half away from each other or something like that. So I see him on occasion at the dyno or something like that every once in a while. But it really sucks because I think we need to...
I was going to say...
I think we need to go out one night hunting.
We need to come up.
Go out hunting in the Crown Vic.
Here's what we need to do.
We need to go hunting for some street racing.
When you remember,
I mean, I'm not condoning any of that kind of activity.
No.
If any of you guys or girls watched Seinfeld back in the day, there was the whole Festivus, right?
Yes.
And part of Festivus was like the feats of strength.
Yes.
So when the car is back and running, Chad and I need to concoct a feats of strength list that the Crown Vic needs to complete, and then we should put it to the test.
Yes.
I'm down.
I'm in. That'll be great. Well, I got one other question too. You mentioned you've owned multiple Crown Vics and all of that. At some point, are you going to build something else?
Yeah. Well, it turns out the Crown Vic's not made anymore, so
right.
we're still riding it out, but we got to see what the next thing is.
Yeah.
So I like something different, something weird. So like him, I like the big cars.
Yeah.
I'm a big guy. I want a big car, and I want to be a little different. So I don't know. We'll see what's next, but something Ford preferably. None of that Chevy crap.
All right, man. You know what? Again,
he was so good until right now.
I know. It just went
so
down.
Good.
So guys, you can go Google Carcraft and Rocket Couch. You can read all about Chris's car and go to adtr.net. You can check out his business and the cool work he's doing there. So Chris,
and are you guys on Facebook as ADTR
yes.
also?
Yes.
Okay, so look up
ADTR.net.
adtr.net on Facebook. And like them.
Yeah, like them, because when the car is running again,
dude.
there will certainly be video debauchery happening. And
for sure.
You want to see that.
You know how much I love Burnout.
Yeah.
And I know
right,
some
Chris.
tire companies, dude. We might be able to get a set just
We
to
should talk.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Oh, folks, we're
Thank you,
getting
Chris.
close to the scheduled end. I know we'll go a little bit further tonight, but our last guest, and by no means our least important, especially after his unbelievable performance this week, Mr. Dar Hawthorne. Come on down, Dar.
We'd ask for
Now-
applause, but everyone's left.
Yes. Now here's the thing. We are not going to rattle off the list of prospective and current new sponsors.
Lots
on
of exciting
Banksix.com.
stuff
They're
coming.
not sponsors till it's closed.
That's
Yeah.
it. But I can
Coffees
tell
for
you.
closers.
Yeah, I can tell you that there are more than a handful of prospective new sponsors that Brian and I have spoken to this week. We have worked with companies that we've been trying to get on board for quite some time. And again, Brian and I making some of those house calls, so to speak, at the booths. But the truth is, this guy kicked our ass this week, which is exactly why we wanted him around.
Berserker mode.
Oh my God. I'm going to tell you that there was one particular company, a company that we know well, and we have friends there, and
we both worked with them in different situations.
Yeah.
Yes. We I got a text message from Dar this morning, and it said, "Is XYZ company one you want?" And I said, "Duh, yeah, we've talked to, so and so there before. Love them, they love us. Just hasn't been the right time yet." Dar sends me a text message back in less than 1 minute and says, "Done deal. We'll finalize it next week."
Yeah.
So over the next, most of these companies will probably be coming on January 1 or thereabouts, but we will have a lot of announcements about some new people that are coming on board. I want to ask you something because everybody knows you were with Drag Racing Online before.
Yep.
Obviously for years.
13 years.
And you need no introduction with regards to resume, but answer this one for us because it makes Brian and I feel real good. What has the response been? What has the response been to you helping us out? And I say helping us out because Dar came to us and asked if he could help us grow Bang Shift, asked if he could be a part of what we have going on, which we were one time smart enough to say.
Yeah. People, what we got going on, normally that's not a positive connotation,
No.
but he was confused at the time, so we pounced on the opportunity.
Well, I mean, this goes back to, I think, the SEMA MPMC meetings last January.
Yes.
And Chad's leaning back and he says, I think that if I could put my dream team together.
Oh, yes! And I did. I said my dream team. And what did I say? My dream team was you and Nick Licata. Yes. And that we would be the dream team.
And I started going like,
I believe I also said
really?
something about firing Brian, but whatever, yeah.
Well, just the protective wording in our contract.
Contract?
But like the wheel started turning, and I'm going, well, maybe that's the next place I need to concentrate on. Had a real good year with Drag Racing Online, and then some things just kind of fell apart. And I think, as you mentioned, the reaction has been, "Oh, those guys? Hell yeah, I want to be involved with them." And
which makes us feel really good. I didn't ask Dar that because we want to brag.
No,
I want it because it's so cool that he's seeing that reaction. It makes us feel good, and I know it makes you feel good.
Well, it's really great to come over from what I'm seeing now is old school.
Right.
And that kind of blew me away because when you're deep in it and you're bringing a larger shovel every day to work at home, that when you start seeing the perception of these people here who are all really good friends and really great business people, it kind of blows you away. And I'm having a great time.
No, we're blown away, and we're eternally thankful for you working with us, and it's been great, and it will continue to be great. And I want to talk drag racing for a few minutes because one of the things that made my little heart go a pitter-patter and a flutter was the entry form for the March meet that's coming up in a few months was leaked out. I don't know if it was leaked out, but it was released to racers. And on that entry form were the 4 letters that are the greatest 4 letters in drag racing, which are AA/FA. So the March meet is going to have an open, that is, yes, an open 8-car fuel-altered field, and that is, in my estimation, after a few phone calls I made today, the first time there will be an open fuel-altered field race in Southern California in over 30 years.
Yes.
And it's open to transformers and short wheelbase and whatever, as long as it's got a AA/FA on it.
Right. Basically, if it's running on nitro and it's got a blower, bring it on down. In fact, I would be remiss if I did not mention Ronnie Mankins is here in the house on the chat window. Ronnie and a great team of guys have been putting together a gorgeous, as you well know, Fiat Topolino fuel altered that is. It's a bitchin' evil son of a bitch, let me tell you. And we will have a lot more coming on that car.
I saw it up in Medford.
Oh, I know. I love it.
Unreal car.
let's talk. I want to get into more of what's coming up for 2014, but with regards to events. But I want to also talk about some of the things that DAR's going to be doing with us. We are going to have some major announcements as we go over the next few months, as we add new sponsors, as we do all kinds of different fun things that you're really going to love here at Bangship.com. But one of those things that I'm excited about is that we're going to bring in some DAR-isms, so to speak. DAR is going to be contributing more and more content as we move forward with exactly this much instruction, which means it's not going to be tainted in any way, shape, or form. It's whatever the hell he wants to spend time doing and wants to bring to us. We're all thrilled with it.
I don't want to hear voices back here.
No, only the voices inside your head. Yeah.
I got to deal with those.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? What is it you want to do?
I want to continue. As you love fuel altereds, I love AA funny cars.
Me too.
And when we had 34, 35, 36, however many we had at the reunion, it was like I was in heaven.
Oh, me too.
And that we're expecting at least that many for the March meet plus fuel altereds. So I'm going to keep doing that. I will go on the Heritage Series and for some match races over the coming year to follow Nostalgia Funny Cars, Top Fuel. God bless you guys. I hope you do better this year.
Yeah.
And I hope some people will actually get more interested in Top Fuel. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I do hope that a rear-engine Top Fuel car is approved, and some people who have said they will build them, like Frank Owsley,
right,
follow through and do it.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I'm on the fence with regards to that one, whether the rear motor cars is the right thing or not. I just don't know. I completely understand the thought process, and I just, from an emotional standpoint, I can't decide whether I like it. And I guess part of the reason that I can't decide is because, as you well know, I'm pretty vocal about some of my disdain for Nostalgia Top Fuel with certain aspects of the class.
Mm.
And I think that they have had a lot of trouble because of the way the rules are written for the class and all of those
for certain
things.
people in the class.
Well, that's true too, yes.
Which trickled down and messed up the class.
I agree.
Yeah.
And so I am one of those guys that thinks the rear motor stuff could be cool, but only if they do everything else right. But I will support whatever happens because I just want Nostalgia Drag Racing to continue. And speaking of continuing, we have Nostalgia Funny Cars, we have Nostalgia Top Fuel, we got NE1, NE2, NE3, all of the different classes, all the gas classes, etc. We now have AA fuel alters.
Oh, yeah.
When do you think, or do you think, that we will be able to grow the bandwagon that is Nostalgia Pro Stock?
Yeah, we got to get. I think that should be a cause at Bangship Champions.
It is.
Nostalgia Pro Stock.
I just haven't seen that many examples of it here on the West Coast.
I know.
No, there isn't. There's none on the East. There's none on the West. There's a small cadre of maybe a dozen cars in the Midwest.
I
But
just had a very interesting thought, though.
But what they're calling AFX here on the West Coast is really Nostalgia Superstock.
It
and
is.
There are a couple of straight axle cars. There are a couple of injected cars. But when you
Most
see
of
a
them.
63 Galaxy 406 4-speed, running as
Nostalgia
AFX, I go,
Yeah.
I don't remember AFX being that car.
No, I'd like AFX to be a little more pure and then run Nostalgia Superstock.
Yeah.
We like those.
That's fine.
But I got to tell you, I own a Monza. I own a Monza that we were planning on making a land speed car out of. But dude, maybe we build that bitch into a Nostalgia Pro Stock.
There you go. Little
Think of-
331 small block tunnel ram job.
Well, now, wait a minute. We got a Dart big block down in our shop that hasn't
Yeah.
even been touched.
Well, wait a second.
standard
If we're doing a Monza, though, if we're doing a Monza to Nostalgia Pro Stock, we got to have a tunnel ram small block.
All right.
That's true. And it's got to rev to 10
Yes.
grand minimum.
Yes.
And it's got to be angry as
Wound
a mother.
tight.
Yeah.
No glides.
Oh, God, no,
No.
dude. Hey,
Gotta
this
be-
ain't
gotta be a manual.
ForceFlightShift.com, baby.
Yeah, got to be a manual transmission.
With the buttons.
Oh, yeah.
But just to
All
double
in.
back real quick on the rear engine dragster thing, I'm all on board on that. I think it's a great idea, and everyone's like, oh, it's sacrilege. Okay, we can look at drag racing history and see how that happened. We can look at the history of nostalgia drag racing. Okay, when nostalgia drag racing started, it was the old time drags at Irwindale or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When it was the guys that would show up in the flathead 4-banger stuff that made 6 horsepower and they choppa down the track like a freaking farm tractor. And when nostalgia drag racing started, there wasn't nostalgia top fuel cars out there. So to say, and I don't know, it's my opinion, of course, but I just think that it's the natural progression of things. This is the way the sport has always worked in every sense, and there will come a time where there's going to be an outlaw nostalgia offshoot that says, screw all this crap, we're going back and we're racing 4-cylinder cars, and everyone's going to go, man, that's such a great new fresh idea, but it happened 30 years ago. But to me, that's just drag racing. I would say it's like a typewriter.
Well,
because you get to the end of the deal and you whack it back and you start over again.
If nostalgia drag racing is to grow, it's got to also appeal to people in their 30s.
Yeah.
Who never saw a front-motored car run.
That's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And like, so I learned that from my son, who said, Dad, I never saw those cars run.
Right.
I remember Shirley in '84.
Right. I'm with him. I'm with you.
And the way the rules are looking right now is that they're going to be sort of frozen at 1976 for wing area.
Right.
And the wing has to be
absolutely straight up.
No Amato layback.
Yeah. Right.
And they're working on the square inches for the wing area
right
now. But the rules are primarily nostalgia funny car. 20.9 gallons for the pump, 671 blower, but they're going to have to run carbon fiber brakes.
Right.
But it's going to be a straight axle, no suspension front.
Cool.
Yay! Well, I got to say too, I'm Brian's looking at the chat, see if you guys are asking anything specific. The other thing that I find completely interesting on the nostalgia drag racing scene is that we take it for granted, okay, a lot. Brian and I have had this conversation. We live in Southern California where all the weather is great, all of those things that you guys all know. The taxes are horrible, gas prices are horrific, blah, 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 blah. The rest of you think you know what traffic is. You haven't seen traffic. But the one thing I never really thought about, even traveling all over the place, is the fact that nostalgia drag racing in Southern California, and California in general, is so prolific because all the original guys, I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them are still here and are from here. I say here, meaning the West Coast.
But the second generation, too. You had those kids that rode around in the trailer all summer and did all the deals, so now they have their turn. Now they got their turn.
And Larry Dixon.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, I appreciate it more now than I did, and it's not that I didn't appreciate all the great racing. I appreciate the fact of why we have it more now than I have in the last few years. And it's interesting because one of the things that we love is that obviously the three of us are historians. Brian, absolutely lives and breathes for anything historical. The other night, this jackass was, what was it, last night?
Yeah.
Yes. No, night before that.
No, it was
last night. Last night, he is looking for a video to put on the site. I'm doing the same thing. I grab one. He goes, ooh, I found this historic video. Instead of just writing the blog item on, here's this cool historic video, he spent hours, looking up the entire history of this thing. I'm not lying.
And identifying the cars in the video.
Yes, identifying all of the cars, identifying all of this, and calling Brett Kepner at 3 o'clock in the morning, Brett's time.
He was up. I know he was up because I do that every once in a while.
Yes, and then they sat and talked for almost an hour all about everything on this track. I am as hooked, no question. We all love this stuff. We love the history of it. We love to tell all the old stories. We love all of those things. But you have a level of access that I think that Bang Shift has grown to be so strong in the nostalgia drag racing community, and people love us because of the live broadcast. We still pale in comparison to the access and friendships you have in the nostalgia drag racing community. I mean, how did all of that happen?
My son was doing bottom end for Jeff Gaynor's funny car, and I saw the crap that Gaynor was running.
And what year was this?
2004, I think.
Okay.
And I already knew about nostalgia racing, and I would go to the reunions and things like that. But I saw that they were running that car, and they'd show up with one piston and a set of rings, and they'd be, pounding on our rod to straighten it back out to make the next round. And I thought, there's got to be a better way of doing this. And so I got involved with him and got him some sponsorship, and then strangely enough, Ron Capps calls and he wants to find if he could drive a nostalgia funny car. And I've known Ron for a long time, and at that time,
we love Ron.
He wanted to drive. He said he had to drive a Chevrolet motored Chevrolet car because that was his contract with Snake. And I said, "There's not one that I would recommend. I'm not going to vouch for any one of those cars."
Right.
And then the next year they went to Dodge, and I hooked Capps up with him.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so Direct Connection came on board, and Justice Brothers, and Lucas, and a whole bunch of and Jegs, a whole bunch of really great companies came on board to help support Capps in that effort. So anyway, my son was doing bottom end, and I started really getting involved and losing interest in the big show because I'm seeing these guys are busting their humps for no money. And it's some of the best competition that's out there.
Yeah.
And I was blown away by, I think the first race I went to, there were 5 cars. 4 of them, actually made it into the elimination round. And, it's just, it's tremendous to see how it's grown. I understand there are about 170 nostalgia funny cars across the United States in the AAFC registry. It's truly amazing. I mean, I know there are 5 cars that I know of that are being built right now. There's a backlog of Victory race cars in Hesperia or Apple Valley, wherever their shop is like, there's orders, there's cars being delivered, and very much to the credit of the funny car class, the first round of funny car qualifying at the reunion with 34 cars making passes was a little over an hour.
Yeah.
And they have really worked to straighten up their act, clean up their oil downs, that kind of stuff. And low ET of the meet was 2 funny cars running 5.
There was some spectacular.
There were some really
8s. Yeah. There were some really spectacular side by side.
And both of them were 392 based motors.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I gotta say, I had forgotten that Victory was actually right up the hill from us. We need to go visit those guys. Yeah.
They also built some pretty
dragsters too, right?
No,
so these sportsmen? Oh,
sprint cars. Okay. Yes, exactly.
They are a leader in building sprint cars right now.
Yeah, we need to go check out those dudes.
No
we need
problem.
to go see them. The other thing, though, is that I find interesting is you look at the number of funny cars that are at these events now. The March Meet, the California Hot Rod Reunion, etc. Did you ever think when you were looking at 4 and 5 of them that we would have 50 of them?
No.
I mean,
no. It's crazy.
Because that's where we're going. Mm-hmm. We're going to where we are going to have 50 plus roll through the gate.
Well, I heard today from a real veteran in nostalgia or in nitro funny cars of the 70s and 60s that there's a couple of groups that look like they're forming that will bring in a second tier of nostalgia funny cars of guys who are not going to run the 562s, but be very happy to run 60s.
So they have an A and a B field.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
I want that. Wickman is asking, what about Sifka?
Yeah, it's coming back.
Sifka's coming back. Yeah,
we actually talked to them. Yes.
I'm pretty good friends with Jim Mayer and his son James, who is really pushing for this Sifka reunion.
Yep.
And a lot of those guys
be this year.
Or 2014. They haven't determined the date yet, but go to Facebook and look up Sifka.
Yeah.
And at least them and at least get their information.
Yeah, which is the California Independent Funny Car Association, and it's they've always been an index-based funny car category, so that everybody didn't have to worry about some rich guy coming in and killing everybody on the performance. So they're talking about actually bumping or making the index, so that it's quicker, as if it mattered, but still, it's cool. And Good Vibrations, who you see on Dar's Bang Shift shirt, as one of his sponsors and one of the sponsors of the Dar and Donnie Couch
Oh,
show
man, that
at
was
the
awesome.
reunion,
We had
which
so
will be at the March
damn
meet.
much fun doing that.
Oh, it's awesome. And I have been a slacker on getting all those videos up on YouTube and putting them up on bangshift.com because we've had so much craziness going on to get here to SEMA 2013. But we will get those up. They are great. All of you guys know that watch the broadcast.
So one of the really cool things was going down and interviewing those guys who did not know I was going to be down on the top end.
Yeah.
Walking up to them with a microphone, and they're going, what do I do? The best story was John Wirtz,
Yeah.
who's been beating the crap out of Gary Turner's car
Yeah.
all year, fighting every gremlin they could possibly have.
Right.
And he had to walk away from the camera because he couldn't talk. He was so emotional about it.
Yeah,
That's so
cool.
And I gotta say, the emotions run really deep in the nostalgia drag racing community, and there are several of them. Anger when they don't, when somebody
Yeah.
doesn't perform well. Unbelievable excitement when they do. And at the same time, I mean, you get the Cackle Fest going and all that. And I'll tell you what's interesting. I mean, I sat up there in the scaffold for the Cackle Fest dying from nitro fumes and loving every living second of it. There were more tears on that drag strip than just the ones from nitro fumes.
Oh yeah, it gets a lot of people. And for rightly so. I mean, it is like time travel, especially one that is that big. And obviously, neither Chad and I are old enough to have been there when the vast majority of those cars were running.
No,
but
I saw 2 or 3 of them.
But the people, but the people that were, whether they're in the stands or they're with the cars, I mean, it moves a lot of people to tears because it is like anything to do with a nitro burning car. It affects all your senses, and it takes those people right back to the moment that they were a kid or whatever.
I got 2 quick stories about Cackle Fest.
Yeah.
I started going to the first one. I went to the first reunion, first 3 or 4, and then sort of dropped out for a little while. But they had a thing called the Ring of Fire,
right,
where they line all these cars up, and people get to stand in the middle of it. And it was, I mean, as bad as it was for you on the scaffolding. I noticed that Tommy Ivo was starting to stumble around, and he couldn't find his way out of the Ring of Fire. And I grabbed him by the arm and
let him away.
Come on, buddy!
Come on, yeah,
I'm getting you out of here.
You literally
I
saved
saved
Tommy Ivo.
And the other one, which was a really early on Cackle Fest, and I got a picture of it somewhere, but it's of Chris Karamazini's wearing a white T-shirt and sunglasses in a red competition coupe being pushed down. The car fires, and he's sitting in there with no helmet, no fire suit, no nothing, making the turn to go onto the drag strip. It's like,
perfect.
That's awesome.
One of those memories that you just go, I'll never see anything like that again. Everybody's got to be totally, safe and as they should be.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
If Karamazini thinks it's safe enough to go that way, I would vote for him.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Well, I'm not trying to be the killjoy here, but
I know, but
Hey, I
got
to go to the banquet, man.
Yeah, you got stuff to do.
I got to go sit with Matuzik and Lori and Vic.
Absolutely, cool. And Aeromotive Fuel Systems, we shot some video with them today. We shot a bunch of video today. We're going to have more videos coming up.
Comcam's video up, learn about their new conical valve springs, and they already have camshafts for the LT engines, which they started making them 5 minutes ago, and Comp already has grinds for them. So
yeah, exactly.
You should be swapping the cam in your truck you bought right now.
And
right now.
And don't forget, with all the new advertisers that are going to be coming on board in the next few months, make sure you like them.
Yes.
Like them on Facebook, baby.
We will be spreading the word. We'll let you guys know how you can give a big, warm bangshift.com welcome to all of these guys. And that's not a steamer, dude. We don't want those. That's not what we're talking about. Liking them on Facebook. But we will keep you posted on that. Again, Dar, thank you for everything you've done for us this week.
Yep.
Dar Hawthorne is also going to be in Pomona tomorrow.
With 2420 Area 2424 T-shirts.
Yes.
Section 24.
You can find me down there. I can't say I'm gonna be selling them, but it's a philanthropic endeavor.
He'll be donating them for donations.
So hey, thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. It has been a very spectacular week for us here at SEMA, and the results of that week are going to be kind of pouring out over the next couple of months. And again, a sincere thanks to Dar Hawthorne and his work for us this week, and beginning of something that's going to be really awesome, man. We're honored to have you.
We're having a good time.
We have some big stuff coming up, folks. So please just bear with us when we announce these things. You're going to lose your damn minds. I'm just telling you.
Just a reminder here. Mike Copeland did say you're getting a 900 horsepower Corvette and I'm getting a Reaper truck, right?
No, I'm getting a 950 150 horsepower ZL1 Camaro, and you're getting a Reaper truck.
The Reaper truck part was really the only part I cared about on that.
Oh, I didn't care
Thank
about
you for
that.
confirming that.
Yes, he did say that. Liam Felter Performance Engineering, again, the one sponsor we most certainly can announce today.
Right now.
And we'll have more coming, but thank you to all of you guys for tuning in. I'm Chad Reynolds. He's Brian Loans, and this is Big Bad Dar Hawthorne, and we're out. We have enjoyed the evening with you, but now it's time for us to pack up, go eat some barbecue, and then get the content up for tomorrow. Remember, we will be live from SEMA Cruise here exclusively on Bangshift.com tomorrow afternoon, Friday, the final day of SEMA Show 2013.
Hasta la pasta.